My name is Suresh Verghese. I'm a leadership facilitator. I'm also faculty at Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. And I have a corporate background, and currently I help leaders change behaviors to perform and succeed with work success as well as personal success. Sridhar?
Great, thank you, Suresh. Hi, this is Sridhar Krishnan, specializing in the IT services industry, where I do a whole lot of digital consulting, mostly focused on the energy industry. But I've been in this business 25 years in various sorts of leadership roles across a few different countries, across a few different levels of leadership as well. And I've also been in the corporate L&D space. That's me, and I am based in Bangalore.
Ravi?
Thank you. Good morning, all. I'm Ravi Bhuttapuri, here based in Chennai. I'm now a corporate training and learning facilitator. I also mentor managers. Have a background in IT, but for the last 10 years, I've been conducting workshops and helping people in their professional lives. Thank you.
GNR?
Yeah, my name is G.N. Radhakrishnan, commonly known as GNR. That's the way people call me. I'm a visiting faculty at Great Lakes Institute of Management, and I also do a lot of training in the education sector, especially schools. That's what I do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I worked in the corporate for about 16 years, and the last about 30 years I've been consulting and training.
Suresh, could you explain what you meant by people need to read their emails? It's so frustrating.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, and GNR also asked for some clarity. This happened when I was talking about the victim-creator concept, and not the victim-creator concept as much, but more how to deal with negativity and quickly shift the mindset to a more positive mindset. So I was asking for examples and situations, and one person amongst several, one person brought up saying that, of course, people did bring up saying if the Wi-Fi crashes, if the power goes off and you're on a Zoom call like this or something like that, these are all things that make you feel immediately negative. They make you a victim and all that. And one person said that people who do not read their emails create a lot of frustration for you, because you're expecting people to read their emails in time and take action in time, and they don't do that. And then you check much later, was this done? Or you see something has not been done, and you check with the person who was supposed to do it, and that person says, no, I don't know about it. Or did you read your email? No, I didn't. I'll go back and check. And by then it's already late and all that. So happens often in organizations. It's a pretty common thing, of course. So the way the individual brought this up was people need to read their emails. It's so frustrating. And yeah, anybody can go at it, and then I'll tell you what I told that individual. Go ahead, anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first, right off the bat, an email is not a call to action. It's not. It's if you want something done in the next half an hour or half a day, an email is not at all a guarantee that it will be done. In fact, it's very possible that the email will never be read, because people get 30, 40, 80 emails a day. So if you really want something done, maybe an email is a good way to document it and give it very explicit terms. But you're going to call them and say, I want this done. Can you please open your email and tell me that you received it? That's the way I would approach it. Straight off.
Yeah.
Now, Sridhar,
I'd
like to hear what Sridhar is saying.
I would very similarly. I mean, it does depend a lot on the context. There's a lot of things that play into this, actually. If what you're working on, what you're looking for is urgent, important, and you need some information or a response in a quick time, then perhaps the email is not the most efficient way of doing it, as Ravi has just said, right? The other thing also was, it depends on the context of the team and the prevailing culture there, right, or that organization, right? There are teams where there are teams that I worked in where it's perfectly okay, that if you get an email, can we all please agree that don't expect a response within 24 hours. You know what I mean? Somebody may be away in meetings. They may have muted their email for a few hours because they're working on something else that's more important. There is an empathy bit here, but there is also a working culture here, in terms of within that team, in that environment, what. So if there's, if you have that sort of leeway, if you can build that sort of a culture, that is great, which is what I've tried to do with some of the teams that I have managed and worked in. And there's also an element of personally, are you open to setting expectations with others around you in terms of, hey, you know what, this is who I am, this is the sort of work habits and work styles that benefit me. A number of people that I work with know already by now, and oftentimes I clearly tell them, I make this that, hey, I do manage my email, I work through my email, but I check my email only twice. I'm not on email all the time. If I get an email, if I see an email late in the day, I may not respond to it until something. I'm not on email. There are people that are on email on their phones all the time, and they expect a response back in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They get fidgety if they don't see that. And you get a phone call from them, hey, I sent you an email an hour back, have you seen it? I use that opportunity to tell people, hey, you know what, hey, I appreciate your anxiety here, but know that I have checked my email only a couple of times a day. And I like to give myself 24 hours before I respond. If it's urgent, call me.
JNR?
Yeah, picking from Sridhar's statement, I think you should read, you should reply, etc. Very judgmental statements, very value-based statements. And fundamentally, we'll have to remember people are different. People are not same. I think that's what Sridhar was also trying to say, that I read only once or I don't read after 7 o'clock. We are all different. And if we start with this one that you should do, I think you're inviting trouble. If the person has done it, maybe he has not done it for n reasons, right? Including maybe he doesn't like you, whatever it is. So if you want a positive response, if you want something task to be accomplished, as Ravi rightly said, maybe make a call. Maybe send a mail and tell him that, look, I did it, would you be able to respond to me? If not email, I'll call you back after some time. So you might have to find ways of doing it rather than saying that you should do what I do. I read every email. So what? I don't read every email. Yeah. So we need to acknowledge that we are different, very, very different in our values, in our practices, and we need to work with that differences. The more and more you say should, then you're inviting a lot of pain and a lot of anxiety and a lot of other problems. And the relationship gets strained. Oh, you didn't read my email? Oh, yeah, I'll now do something. That's going to be a little destructive.
Suresh, that participant who spoke to you like that, he may be mistaken that the recipient did not read. They may have read it and decided not to respond for whatever reason.
Very true.
One of the things I do to manage expectations or to set expectations is I write very quickly, this is not urgent, if it's not urgent. And if it is very urgent, in my subject line itself, I might add the word urgent response required or something. And then, because I need an urgent response, I call up and say, I've sent you an email, can you please look at it in the next 5 minutes, right? Because they may be busy with something else. But by frequently saying, this is not urgent, they know that I cry wolf only when a wolf comes, right? And I think that's setting, like Sridhar was saying, they understand now how you work, that you don't ask for immediate attention all the time. So I think that has helped me.
Great.
So,
all your points are definitely very valid. How I responded to this person was to take the first part of what he said. People need to read their emails. It's so frustrating. Now, the question I asked him is something that I've heard JNR ask multiple times. What are we in control of? Only ourselves. And I'm not in control of someone else as to when they will read their emails or whether they want to read their emails or not, and how much they consider this as important as you might, because their level of importance on it might be lesser and your level of importance on it might be more. So therefore, in your mind, you have already built an expectation which may not be very valid. So therefore, if I'm in I'm only in control of myself and that is understood, then I also need to realize that if it's something that needs action immediately, I have to probably call the person first and say, look, this needs to be done. I'm sending an email about it. So you prepare the person, then you send the email so the person knows and expects that, yes, you have sent the email and the details of it, and therefore looks at it, takes action on it. And then when you get back to that person, if it's so important, then you can expect an action to have been done, or at least a plan to for the action to be implemented. So like all of you said, if it's important to be done, you will do something else about it as well, besides just sending an email. And like you said, Ravi, an email alone is not a call to action. It's not necessary that everybody gives it the same kind of importance that you might give it, and everybody might have their own ways of dealing with emails. Of course, organizations sometimes have a general rule that any email should be responded to or acknowledged at least within 24 hours. But it really depends on the nature of operations and the nature of services of the organization. If it's a very minute by minute kind of a thing where a lot of things are happening in a day, then of course responses and actions are expected by everybody in that particular team. But if it's not so, then of course there is a level of expectation that needs to be set, as well as some proactiveness from the part of the generator of that email or the initiator of that particular task. So yeah, I think great. So we discussed 2 topics today, and I think that was fantastic. How did this process go, everybody? Did you like it?
Yeah, very nice.
Absolutely fantastic.
Excellent. Short and sweet, right?
Absolutely. Good format, short and sweet. Absolutely. Good format.
Yeah.
Good use of time.
Yeah,
good
great.
topics.
Good.
Yeah, and this
And
can
what I
also
loved is,
become 2 clips, like 2 video
Videos,
clips,
yeah.
because 2 topics. So bite-sized pieces to put out by any of us for the benefit of our clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ravi?
Great ideas. Really. What I loved is the 4 opinions are also brilliant, all, I'm including myself in this, but very diverse, very divergent, and very nice, and gives a beautiful picture. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's lovely to get everybody's perspective in it from different
Absolutely.
experiences, different organizations, older organizations, newer organizations, current experience, different kinds of audiences, clients, and so on. So that's fabulous.